Hi guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL Podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm a bit croaky. Actually, this is probably the best I've been all week. I've been like, uh-oh, man flu alert, slight drop of temperature, school germs, here they come. Cold's been going around, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling a little better than I was. Whiskey will help though.
Mate, you're sounding so much better than your video to me earlier.
Yeah, this
Like
morning I was
looking
bad.
better as well. Just like, yeah, you were
I
struggling this
looked,
morning.
yeah, this morning I felt like I got up and I'd already had like 3, 4 pints. I was just like, oh, I don't know where I am. Don't know what was going on. It was. But yeah, seem to have perked up in the last few hours because I'm podding with you. Why would I not be?
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's a busy, interesting week. Yeah, look, I haven't been feeling the best the last few days. It's no secret that, well, maybe it is a secret, but I've just been working real hard this last week, and it got to the
Mm.
point today where physically I was just shaking a little bit at work, and I was just like, I just need to go home. And I slept for about 3 hours, and I'm a lot better, and I feel like tomorrow morning I can go back into work, and I feel much better. But just like my head
Mm.
just wasn't in the right space today, and it was just a case
Yeah.
of get some rest and try and sort of go again tomorrow. So I'm there now, and it means that I've been able to look at my wild card for this week, which was
So
difficult
wildcard's
to do.
active,
Wild card is
fully
active.
active.
Yeah,
Press the
yeah.
button.
Oh yeah, mate. I pressed the button. Mate, I was sitting on 20 points last week. I pressed the button before the game week ended. I was like, that's it, just get
Get that
involved.
button pressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Um. Yeah. I think it's good. I think it's been an interesting week. Obviously, the big thing is, does the big man play?
Does the big man play? Well, I think when they started talking about it earlier on in the week, and Pep was saying, "Oh well, not sure," and all this sort of stuff, it just felt like it was just an excuse to sort of get him out of the Carabao game, and I
Yeah.
didn't expect to see him anyway, to be honest.
No. No. It definitely. When he says at the start of the week, you're like, oh, it's a Carabao thing, is it? It doesn't
Yeah,
obviously. It doesn't obviously excuse the fact that obviously, um, he obviously took him off with 20 minutes to go where he was in the Arsenal game. I also think there's a bit post as well, isn't there? There's a bit because obviously they conceded in the last minute, and maybe they didn't, or maybe he'd already scored again by then. But in terms of that, so they've given away a lead, and he's not going to play midweek, so it's very convenient to say he's a bit injured, his back hurts. But
he's
I'm
been
going to
he's been
assume.
carrying the whole attack for the last 5 weeks. That's why.
Yeah, we should clarify. We'll clarify because the chat's not sure whether when we say the big man, we mean Erling Haaland or do we mean Big Dan Burn. We mean Erling Haaland is the person that's out.
Yes,
Um, but yeah, I think it'll be fine. And then the convenient one, the thing that you thought you were going to get, I was thinking this afternoon. I was like, are we just going to get a press conference that says we will see, and then all we'll do is be waiting for the training pick. But we've seen the training pick now.
I was fully
Like,
done. I was fully done by a post earlier on X. FPL Gundo posted the old one with Laporte.
oh, he
Fully done.
does that all the
So I
time.
was,
You cannot treat anything FPL Gundo says.
I saw it and I was like, oh, in training. So I included it in the post about the stream tonight. And someone was like, "What, you mean this photo with Laporte in it?" I was like, yep, that was the one I saw. Shit.
That was the one. Yeah, no, no,
And then
no.
City come out and then release that video about 10 minutes later. I'm like, yes, I saw the
Yeah.
future. But no, that's good. That's good news.
So we have some news that we think, well, he seems to be in training. And I don't really see him not starting. Like, I was trying to work it out. Like, who plays up front if he doesn't play?
Yeah, because Marmoush is still not about.
No. So you're gonna have to assume. I think we have to assume he starts. Potentially, we have limited minutes. Like if he can only play 70 minutes against Arsenal, then he might only be playing 70 minutes only. But that's that's not enough. That's enough to have him. Certainly, that's enough to cap him. Is it enough to triple cap him?
I think the Arsenal game, as much as we can play it off as, or Pep wants to play it off as an injury, there's huge game state stuff there. I felt like he was bringing him off because he wanted to get another person in that midfield and prevent, the types of attacks that Arsenal were building through the middle, and they were just cutting through the middle really easily. And so they make that change. Pep makes that change consciously. Like I don't think that happens in this game. It's more of a game that if he comes off, it's because he's done what he's required to do, which is 2 or 3 goals. Right? That's his job, and I just don't feel like he'll come off unless that's the case. Who have they got in the midweek after? Who have they got next midweek?
I'm not sure.
I'll have a quick look.
While you're looking at that, the one thing I was thinking about, the other thing about him coming off was we've talked about it ad nauseum about with Reinders, that Reinders does no defensive work. Like he literally does no defensive work. So one of the reasons why they were able to have so much control in the middle of the park was obviously that they had 3 central midfielders, and Reinders isn't a centre midfielder. He's literally standing the other side of them being like, okay, like he doesn't do the work. So therefore they were able to have a lot of control. So having Reinders and Haaland through the middle was too much. You know what I mean? Is that enabled them to have so much control? So he had to then bring somebody else in. So I guess the question was, does he take off Reinders or does he take off Haaland? And I'm sure if they weren't 1-0 up, he probably would have just taken Reinders off. But as it was, you were like, well, actually, Reinders is at least half a midfielder almost, to an extent, and I'll leave him there and I'll give Haaland that extra rest. So I can see why. JC's just said, Monaco away on Wednesday night. Yeah. So it's not like, it's not far. It's a nice little trip, Monaco.
I'm sure they'll hate being on the south coast of France.
Oh, it's a pretty
couple of hours easy flight,
and it's a 3:00 Saturday game for them. So there's plenty of time. Like I say, do you think potentially he comes off? Maybe, but like he's going to want these goals.
Oh, mate, yeah. He's definitely just going to want to keep scoring.
I took the triple captaincy armband off him this morning. And I don't know. Have you got Rob T's graphics for the goals for like the foreseeable going forward?
I do.
So, on this, we've got obviously Man City in game week 6, which is the biggie. You've got a huge number of times that you could triple captain Salah. You have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times out of the next 9 times out of the next 12 game weeks that they're expected to have more than 2 goals. So there's loads of opportunity that you can do it. But what we don't know is that the further the time goes away, we don't know anything. We don't know once ESAC comes in, how much of that goal share suddenly becomes ESAC's goal share.
Well, I was going to say, if you consider City's goal share already, like I'd look at 2.3 Liverpool versus 1.8 City, or say game week 9, right? 2.1 Liverpool versus 1.8 City. Like Haaland's getting 1 and Salah's getting 0.6 of that. Like, there's the 3 of the 4 best game weeks that Liverpool have are after Salah goes to AFCON, so we can just discount everything sort of game week 16 onwards. So 18 and 19 are a non-starter, and just I say Haaland's goal share is just so much better that I'd only be looking to do it in now or 15, 17, 13. I'm just remind myself who they've got in those games. But
one of the things I think 13, 14, 15 is a midweek.
There's a midweek bit,
and either way. So you've got 3 Premier League games. So do you really there's going to be some form of resting or limited minutes at some point. So that 14 midweek for Salah, I think that's Sunderland, in game week 14 in a midweek. You're like, if there was ever a time, it's then. Yeah, even that is, do you get a leggy performance after Premier League? Do you want to do Haaland in 15? Maybe not after they've just played. You might see either a rotation or a slightly crappy world. So I think if you are not playing triple captaincy, you've got loads of opportunity. Like ultimately, it's still just one game in it.
Yeah.
And it's just one extra captain's.
I'll
flick
back to my thoughts about this from last year. In that right now, I mean, I guess it's a little bit cagier compared to last year's game week 2 or whatever. But right now, we know the team, we know the fitness of the players around. We know it's a great fixture for him. We know Burnley are the worst defence. Like, this is the fixture to do it, right? This is just the fixture. Like, I'm sitting here and having not able to do it, looking at the rest of these, thinking, well, when do I do it? I mean, could I even, like, don't get me wrong, like Bruno next week has entered my mind a number of times. But yeah, this is the best week. This is the best week to triple captain Haaland. There's a lot of people on Wildcard, so I spoke to JC before the pod, and what I was trying to do is I was trying to look for all the polls that were saying like who's on this, who's on that in terms of wildcarding. But I thought I'd just jump into JC's DMs and ask him what people were looking at on Solio, interestingly enough, in terms of what kind of solves they were building. And if you take away the fact that if you remove like no chip, because in my assumption, when people are solving, they're solving like wild card versus no chip. So even if they're selecting that one there, that comes up. 67.5% of people doing solves right now that are playing chips are looking at wild card. 20% triple cap, 12% free hit. So it is big on wild card, but for me, this is the best week to triple cap. So it's really like there's going to be so many battles on the social timelines this weekend.
Yeah, it is. Cal's just posted in the chat that FPL have just posted the Haaland training pick. I wonder if they'll take the flag off, and when they'll take the flag off. Will they wait till the presser tomorrow? Because all the time they leave that flag on, that's really good for all of us.
Yeah,
that's really good for all of us. If we think it's good, then having that, I do think we do need to have a plan. Like FPL Tony exists, and it's such a big deal. Like if he comes at 10 to 11 with there's no Haaland, you got to have a draft. This is where, Big Pete's in the chat, FPL.team. Have your revised draft ready to go in FPL.team. Have it ready so that if you think it's not going to be Haaland, or have the plan. So if you're like me, who's already made free transfers, as in I've made free transfers, free transfers, for me, I'll probably free hit if there was some news that he wasn't in, because I quite like the idea that then I'd be like, okay, let's work it out next week.
Yeah,
I probably won't wildcard now. I think I'll probably do my free hit because I think it's relatively low value, and then next week I'd come back to free transfers, still have wildcard in hand. I can quite easily, for example, go Verts to Bruno as an option. I might want, you never know, I might want Watkins and Rodgers against Sunderland. That the only thing is, if I do that and I zag to free hit and you've zagged to wildcard, I've probably lost 1 million, maybe 1.5 million on you this week by going to free hit, because the guys that I'll get back have all massively dropped in value.
Yeah. I found a little bit of that when I free hit, like even last in game week 4.
That's one of the things. Like free hit potentially costs you a fortune, is by doing it, because you're obviously going to get rid of all the guys you don't want who are all dropping, and the other guys will go up, and then you ain't got those next week. You got the guys that got no money. So it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting still Saturday morning. Do need to have a plan. I've got a free hit draft ready to roll in case I need it.
I don't have a wildcard draft without Haaland, but there's absolutely zero chance that I'm going to carry 14.5 million on the bench. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, there must be look at a thing and go, there's a relatively easy swap. I do that forward and then that strike. It's probably look at your team, and then I would probably think about Haaland to like Strand Larsen, and then Salah for whichever midfielder's about that price.
Yeah.
There's probably a midfielders around 6-7 million that's in your team that you think, well, I could just make that person Salah and just sling that back. I wouldn't. Well, no, if he's in your team, then he's got to go. That's what I'm saying.
Oh
Is
yeah, yeah,
if you've got a Kudus, if you've got an Ndai, if you've got a Xavi, make that Salah, make Haaland, you strand Arsenal and Evan Nelson, and that's the easy way out.
I mean, Salah's just an interesting conversation, full stop, because his non-penalty XG is horrific, like all season.
It is, but he could have also scored like 30 points in the one half he played with ESAC in Europe.
In Europe,
In Europe,
yeah.
yeah.
So
So one half in Europe when ESAC started, and it wasn't Ekatike up front, and he looked like the exact same player that we've seen all season. Was incredible. Scored really early. Could have scored again. Could have like we can't play the game of we don't know what it's going to be like when ESAC comes back, and also play the game of Salah's finished. Like we don't know. That's the thing on Liverpool, isn't it? We don't know.
Yeah,
and that's why I was still. If it were me and Haaland was out, I would still keep that money on a big guy. Like I wouldn't go that. Let me spread it around 6-7 players again, because then you just looked at that table on Rob T. Haaland and Mo are still incredible captains. Look at it.
well, yeah. I mean,
comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, like Liverpool, City, Arsenal. Just you need coverage.
You want the best guy from those, and the best guy is Haaland and Mo. Like they are the best guy still. Until they're not, they are. Mo might not be the best guy in 3-4 weeks. It might
just be
ESAC.
ESAC. Yeah,
it might be. But what if it's Mo?
Cool. So, just for everyone's benefit, what we normally do here is we say if you could like and subscribe and do all that good stuff, we would really, really appreciate it. That is, that's the minimum we ask. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. That's the minimum we ask. And whatever chip you're playing, let us know. If you're not playing a chip, let us know in the comments on the stream, or let us know in the comments after if you're watching it back. If you want to continue the conversation, you can do so over in our Discord. And just realised that I don't have the image for that.
It's in the description.
It's in the description. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So patreon.com/above average FPL. You can come and continue the conversation. Loads of games going on, as always. And of course, a final shout out to Dan, Crypto Block Dan, our friend, our supporter. And if you want to grab some time with Dan, chatting about the blockchain, crypto, anything like that, you can do so. Hubble.social/Dan Highbell. Shout out to Dan. Straight in, looking at all of the games for game week 6, which I guess is, I don't know, because so many people are on Wildcard. It's difficult to say like this is the week we should be completely focused on, because we obviously all should be looking in the long term. And anybody who is captaining Haaland or triple captaining Haaland. So I don't know whether there's loads. I don't feel like there's loads to take from this week and how this week's set up.
No,
truth.
But I do think it leans into a wild card. Look, let's just say the wild card template is incredibly strong. Yeah, we've seen a million teams with the Gyok, Pedro, Haaland front three. That's very, very popular. And if it's not those front three, they're normally two of the three.
Yep.
They're popular for a reason. When we look at the defenders now, in a way, we're not looking at as much at the clean sheets as we used to, because we know the guys that we want. We know that most people on Wildcard, they're going to think, right, well, the DEFCON monsters we know Anderson, we know Senesi, we know Tarko, we know them.
Yep.
Yeah, we also know that we really like Gabriel, because Arsenal are an incredible defence, like comfortably the best defence in the world, probably. And historically, season on season, he scores more goals than most. So he's an incredible pick. And then we know the promoted guys have been really solid. So whether it's your Rodon or Goodmanson, whether it's Alderete, probably those ones, I think Leeds and Sunderland seem to be pushing themselves. But I don't think many electric Steves on
No. I think Bruno.
Wildcard.
Bruno. I saw Bruno in the chat. Burnley Burnley have kind of gone away from us from a defensive point of view.
Yeah,
I think people
but
are keeping
Dubravka still stays there.
Dubravka because, like, obviously Darlow's there for Leeds right now, but as soon as Perry's back, like, he's back in.
Yeah, I think the difference as well, we trust Dubravka. Like, we've known him for many, many years. We know he's a Premier League quality keeper. He's comfortably better than the number 2 there, so you never feel like the other guy is going to come for them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think he's just such an easy pick, Dubravka. You just keep that. But the other promoted guys are really fighting strong, you know, to have a position as that last defender. So then it makes it quite limited. You know, I still love Romero at Tottenham, obviously, but do I think Romero at 5 million is going to get DEFCON every week? No. Do I think he's going to get bonus a lot of the times and he'll score? I wouldn't be surprised if Romero scored 5 goals this season. I definitely wouldn't be surprised at that, and that's an incredible return. Is if you ask me now, for example, say like a Cucurella versus Romero, I'd go Romero over someone like that. But is he worth it compared to the DEFCON guys? I'm not sure. Then you've got Lacroix and you've got Richards. I think Richards almost put himself above Lacroix maybe in a lot of people's standings because it's a bit of a saving in it. It's like £500,000. Feels important. Feels easier to have, you know, if you don't have Tarko, for example, feels easier to maybe have a couple more of the 4.5s that you know are really good on the DEFCON.
Is there a reason it's Richards rather than Gahey? I know people were avoiding Gahey initially from like a game week 2, game week 3 point of view because we were looking on that transfer to Liverpool as a maybe and thinking like, you know, his head might not be in it or whatever, or we can't fit him in because we've already got 3 Liverpool. But like in terms of targets at corners, I feel like Gahey's been targeted more often. I mean, didn't he get the assist or something like that for the Mateta goal the other day?
He got the assist for the Mateta goal in that he got the header. He's normally back post. So I do think the thing is Richards is normally for front post and he's normally back post. And I'd always go a front post guy over a back post. It just tends to get to that person more often. I think that Richards is certainly there or thereabouts. Obviously, he scored a midweeker in the Europa. So, look, I don't think there's a lot in it. I do wonder, though, as they start playing more games, you've got all the Europa, this, like, which is the one that would rotate out if it's, what's his name, Canvo? The other guy that spent quite a good bit of money on, 30, I think about 30 million or something like that they spent. So they're going to want to play him, but maybe they play him in the conference. I don't know. Richards, we know, and Gahey, they're both pretty minutes monsters. I think Richards started like every game, didn't he, last season after he came in like about game week 4 or something.
Yeah.
So I would say that Richards is slightly better. Well, he's definitely better on DEFCON, and he's definitely a little bit better on his baseline bonus than Gahey. But Gahey's been providing the goals, so therefore maybe that's the guy you should have.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, he's 0.2 cheaper as well.
Then you've got Newcastle defence,
which has like legitimately been a ridiculously strong defence.
It is ridiculously strong defence. My only question about this is my only thing where I would pose a thing on Newcastle. So Newcastle have got 6 points from 5 games. 6 points from 5 games. Yeah, is that's not what Newcastle need to have more than 6 points from 5 games. They have drawn 3 games out of their 5. They've scored 3, conceded 3. Yeah, and bear in mind, then when you look at this, is yes, they've only conceded 2.5 XG, right? That's all they've conceded in their games. But we should note, they played Aston Villa, first game of the season away, and they deliberately, a little bit, because they've not had a striker in these games, were a bit stinky. Like, they used their midfield 3 to really just stifle Villa in that game, and very little came from it. Yeah, Gordon had like 7 shots, and bar that, there wasn't a huge amount, but the idea was stinky. Then, out of the 6 goals that have occurred in their games, 5 of them happened in the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
Where, again, like, they contributed very little to that game, and they conceded like nearly 2 XG to Liverpool. They then went to Leeds and played no strikers and played 5 at the back, and went away to Leeds to be stodgy as hell. And guess what? They made a game stodgy as hell. Well, you can do that against Leeds because Leeds are trying to do the same thing themselves.
Yep.
They then played Wolves at home. It doesn't surprise me at home that, again, they won 1-0. I mean, if anything, it surprises you they only scored one, but it doesn't. Does it surprise me that Wolves only got like half an XG when Strand Larsen was injured? Not really. Doesn't surprise me at all. Then they went away to Bournemouth. And what did they try to do at Bournemouth?
Yeah, they just stunk the hell out of it.
They
The whole
tried to
game was
stink the
crap.
hell out of it. Now, do I think they'll try and stink the hell out of it at home to Arsenal tomorrow? Yeah. Or Sunday, sorry. Yeah, probably. Probably will try and do it. But do I think it's going to change? Do I think that they're going to go try and start to be a bit more expansive as those games continue? Yeah, I do. And therefore, do I think DEFCONs will happen less for some of their defenders? Yeah, I do. Do I think that they'll start scoring more and potentially then conceding more as they try to go back to? Because don't forget, when they play attacking, they're quite a transitional team, which is that they almost want to invite attack and then we'll hit back the other way and have more of an up-down game. But yeah, I feel like, as they move into the Brighton, the Fulham, even the West Ham, Brentford, which sounds quite attractive games for them, they're ones where they're going to have to start to try and win and try and start to push. And I just wonder a little bit if maybe with Dan Burn, for example, that it's not as guaranteed as it would be some of the others. Like historically, he wasn't brilliant on DEFCON. He was okay, but he wasn't brilliant on DEFCON. I think Pope's interesting. Just, is it interesting enough to not go Raya? Or do you just go Raya? And I think most people in the end will just go Raya.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, like Pope's going to be the one out of everyone that's going to get all of the minutes, right? They're obviously navigating Europe as well this year. So I don't know how long Wissa is out for. Probably still quite a while.
Outside of the international break, apparently, which is 2 game weeks.
Baltimore was he was rested last week. Didn't start last week, did he? At some point. So that was
because
they
were at Bournemouth trying to stink it.
Well, yeah. But is that just still just bedding in, or is that? I mean, Gordon. Yeah, Gordon's back now as well. So
Gordon's back. Yeah, you'll start moving into that world. Gordon's back. Is they'll play a striker. They might even play 2.
It's so much fun in their wide players though. Like when you think about it, they've got Elanga and Murphy and Barnes and Gordon, and they've got good attacking players.
Yeah, I just think Donnarumma and Raya. I think there's very little to choose from in them. I really think there's a lot less to choose from than maybe it's credit. Like, we shouldn't underestimate the fact that Rodri is back for Man City, and Donnarumma is better than the keepers that they've been playing for the last year. I really would not be surprised if Man City turned in 16, 17 cleans this season. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. And he's very proactive on crosses and stuff. So we might see some recoveries. We might see some stuff from him that gives him a chance.
Yeah.
Like, his defenders don't score as many as Arsenal's defenders do they?
No.
So therefore, he's got more chance of getting some bonus because the defenders don't really return that often. So I like Donnarumma. I think it's a good pick if you think I might want some extras in the further forward from Arsenal, or I might want the 2 outfield defenders. I think Eze's a real consideration. Like, if he just starts playing good minutes repeatedly, he looks so at home there. That goal in midweek, the first goal, you were like, God, he's so on it. And then obviously the ball for the Man City goal, it feels like he's really on it. And if he's playing all the minutes at 7.5 million, he feels like a no-brainer to me. Not now, but he might be. Give it 2 or 3 more weeks, and Eze might be. And that's my only thing with Raya.
It's just the choice of having that third Arsenal.
Yeah. As opposed with Donnarumma, I think you can leave yourself a bit more.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit crap that, like, for those that are wildcarding this week, it's kind of a bit crap that Saka's back now, because there's kind of a decision to be made about
Mm.
whether to get him in, and just asking yourself whether that, what is it, it's almost 5 million. Almost, is it 5 million now between, what's Salah, 14.7?
Something like that.
And Saka's 9.8. So yeah, you're talking 5 million quid. So can you do anything with that 5 million quid that makes Saka plus someone else better than?
Yeah, but I think it's very hard to get yourself into that situation, because I think what you really, the real question is would anyone want to spend the money on Saka and Gyökeres? And I don't think the answer is yes. Like, I think 20 million on a pretty stinky team feels crazy. Like, that feels like a lot of money.
It is, but it is. But let's just say that, like, Saka's only just come back and he hasn't played with Gyökeres yet, so it could be again this Salah ESAC conversation, in that suddenly Saka starts whipping these balls in and Gyökeres is on the end of absolutely everything, and suddenly it's the best partnership that you want for 20 million. Maybe
It could be,
because those 20 million pockets are like Haaland and Reinders, Salah and Gyökeres.
Yeah, that's a 20 million pound pocket, to be fair to it.
Palmer and Pedro is like 17. Yeah, so there's going to be these pockets that we're going to have to try and work out.
And Salah was 22 million quid, and I dived in on that, and that's been fucking wonderful.
Exactly.
So it's not that we don't spend those monies, but I don't know. I think the defense is so good that I always see me only having. Yeah, there's a potential to, but I kind of want that second one to be a bit cheaper, I think. I wouldn't be against it's a strange one on Wildcard 6, isn't it? That you put in Gyökeres and Saka away to Newcastle. It's a strange one.
It's a bit funky. Yeah, I mean, there is something in the chat about pens as well. Like, that's another thing we don't know yet. Like, we still, like, people are saying they know, we don't know yet, right? We don't know that, because they haven't had a penalty while they've both been on the pitch. That hasn't happened.
How do you feel about the idea? Bear in mind as well, I haven't seen your wildcard team, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't share this sort of stuff.
Well, you've been off grid this week,
Yeah,
so
true.
we haven't had much chance. But how do you feel about the idea of, on wildcard, if you really like the idea of Saka, of going Foden this week and moving to Saka next?
That sounds fun.
There's a similar question on Bruno. I think, but I think slightly differently. I still think Bruno away at Brentford's a good fixture.
I think that's a great fixture. I think that's a great fixture. So no, Bruno hasn't come out of any draft. Like, he hasn't come out of any draft at all.
It makes sense to me. But then this is what I'm saying. The second you start saying, well, I have Haaland and I'll have Bruno, well, you can't have Saka and Gyökeres. You're not getting there. That's too many guys.
Without Salah, you can.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can get to Bruno, and don't start putting on your mission.
No.
You can do that draft later.
No. I think I've already got it on the screen. So I haven't saved it.
Haaland, Saka, and Bruno.
I think so. I don't think I've saved it in the scenes, but I definitely sent it to myself.
A strange game of countdown, isn't it? Where someone's picked all the low numbers and you're still working out. I think I've got this.
I think I can get to that. No, not Gyökeres. No, not Gyökeres.
Not Gyökeres as well.
It's Lyle Foster.
Yeah, there we go.
Slightly different. Carry on.
We're digressed considerably away from this game week's fixtures, but I think all the players we're talking about, Arsenal, this is where it leads you to more the double defence route, is because this game week's still good for them double defence route. This week's not the week you look at and go double, whereas you do look at this and you go, Everton attack. Yeah, is having a Ndai, having a Dewsbury Hall, having a Tarko feels fun this week. Having Reinders just feels like an easy pick, really, at 2.76, playing on the minutes. Great. Having Bruno, Yeah, there's not many attacks better than that this week. What about João Pedro?
He's a really good pick that I will probably captain in so rare in as many teams as possible, because I still think he's a great pick this week.
Mm.
And he's just one that I just think I'm just going to have to accept to go without.
So you're not going to do the triple up. You're not going to do the forward line of
Mate. You know who my third striker is.
Are you going without that though? Because is it that you think it's the wrong thing, or is this?
There's price. There's price. I've
price.
got no money, so there is a bit of that, but there's it saves me 0.8 million or 0.9 million as well. And my spending power is 98.5 million or something. I've got no money, mate. I've genuinely nothing. People are swanning around with 100.6 or whatever. I've got 99.1. Genuinely, people.
So who's the third striker?
Richarlison, mate. Richarlison is the third striker. He's sucking in all the chances. He's got 2 fantastic fixtures, and then he's a relatively easy move. He's a relatively easy move if needed, with 3 transfers in the bank. For me, anyway. But I think he will. I think he will be in game week 8. Who do we have in game week 8? That's after international break, isn't it?
That's the issue, after international break. But
so he'll be away with Brazil.
Also,
102.3 in the chat. Fuck off, man.
Bill,
it's disgusting.
Let's go back to those goals. Rob T's long form goals.
I'm on it.
Tottenham 2.0, 1.4 we're expected away to Leeds. That shows you how highly valued at the moment Leeds is in terms of the defensive performances, of how stinky they're trying to make games. That's kind of where we're looking at. I do think after that, you've got, like you say, the cheaper guys you've got. Strand Larsen's still there. I still think he's doable, but he might just turn out to play longer than this. We just don't know that. It is. Thomas Frank has said he's his number 9, and until he's not his number 9, he is.
Yeah.
And if it turns out that you can just keep him for a bit longer, and you end up getting him in that game week 11, game week 13, game week 15.
Can we just go back to this Leeds defence bit? This Leeds defence being sticky, right? They played Everton first game of the season. Everton's attack at that point, not fantastic. They got new striker in, Grealish wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. And they won. They played Newcastle, and as you said, they stunk it up, bit crap. They played Fulham and lost 1-0. And they played Wolves. The only decent team they've come up against is Arsenal, and they lost 5-0. I'm not buying them being a good defence. Not yet.
Yeah.
I'm still saying, against teams that should be in the top 5, top 6 of the league, they should be targeting teams like Leeds.
Leeds are trying to win games 1-0, or if it happens to be 0-0, it happens to be 0-0. They're quite comfortable to be in that situation. If what happens against Arsenal, that they go 1-0 down in 15 minutes, game plan's gone. So there will be those occasions. But what you can see tactically in terms of how they're playing is, I think it's fair to say that they're trying to stink their way through to as many points as possible to keep themselves up. Whether they manage it is a different game. There'll definitely be games like that happen against Arsenal where they get done early and then they get done over in a big way. We would like to hope that when we go there next week, we'll do well. It's like Semenyo this week. Semenyo's really interesting because away, the guy that's smashing all the points is away against a promoted team. Feels easy. I'm not sure it is that easy away at Leeds, because Bournemouth love to counter teams, and Leeds aren't going to let them counter because they're just going to stodge it around. But I do think if Bournemouth score early, they could still score 3-4 against them.
I still think that's the blueprint of most teams that get promoted. There's a few rogue ones that come up, like your Blackpools and your Ipswich.
Now, is it?
Well, not so much, no. But your Blackpool and Ipswich are a little bit more like open and whatever. We're going to keep our philosophy. But most teams that come up tend to try and stink it out, and some will get some good results, and some will end up getting beaten like Southampton and Leicester did. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I
There's
still think targeting the promoted sides is still a good thing to do.
I just feel there's like about a dozen teams that are trying to do this, invoke chaos, and then I'll try and find my way through this, type play. That's why I think Leeds and Sunderland in particular have done pretty well since they've come up, is that they're playing a relatively similar style to what we've seen Fulham do, certainly a Fulham way. Not maybe not as quite as hard pressing as say a Bournemouth, but maybe the way that the Forest did last season, Fulham, Brentford, like we've seen when West Ham have played well. Like it's that similar thing. Now West Ham aren't doing it well enough, and guess what? You get smashed. That is a potential. Like what you can't do when you're trying to do this stinky way is he can't be bad at set pieces. That's one, like you cannot afford that because you are going to invite some pressure. And that's where West Ham are just getting absolutely done at the moment. But I do think these teams will try to continue to be horrible for as long as possible. Like you say, whether they get to do it or not, they're going to try.
Yeah. It's interesting that when looking back at this it's interesting because you've got, say, players like, well, let's go up from Spurs upwards because let's just ignore Villa, just for sanity. So at Tottenham, you've got Kudus and Xavi at that 6.5 to 7 million slot. You've got Semenyo, obviously more expensive now, 7.7. Brighton have got Mitoma, Minte around the 6.5 to 7 mark. Newcastle are Gordon, Barnes. That's kind of that area. United, Cunha, Mbumo, that price. Chelsea go down a bit to Enzo. Arsenal, Eze. And it just weirdly that just makes Eze look like even better. As far when I go further up, just at the price.
I think he's going to be in the mix relatively soon for a lot of us.
But it is a lot of open play threat, right? Again, it's you remember the discussion around about Semenyo with just open play threat.
Yeah, we think so. Like I
don't he will still take the corners.
No, I'm not sure. Rice is pretty good at them from that side. That's the side there's.
And then Saka's going to take the other ones.
But it's beneficial for Arteta if Eze takes them, because he then keeps more control of the ball because you put Rice on the edge of the area. It's just whether Rice would want to give him up. Like it's so important to them. Eze is going to have to be incredible with them, but it's not out of the realms. Do you remember when Rice started taking him out of nowhere? Like literally, it was like
they went to Dubai for 2 weeks, came back, and Rice was just on all the set pieces.
And Rice was just on him, But prior to that, Martinelli was taking him, Trossard was taking him. Like it wasn't. Then suddenly it was. Like if Eze somehow can get that form of delivery that Rice has, it's beneficial. You'd rather have a winger or an attacking midfielder take your corners because it enables the bigger guys to stay in the middle. But yeah, I think he's right up there. Just seen Greg just put in the chat about Enzo. Like I don't see anyone looking at Enzo. I think Ndai is like a real, just everyone's gone Ndai. And I think what also I've seen a lot of is because they've on Ndai, they then don't go Dewsbury Hall, they go Stack. And it's because I don't want double Everton midfield. But what if Dewsbury Hall is the right one? Like we will have transfers. You will play more transfers. I don't think it's stupid. If you think that they're both good, like have them both and then use that as your pivot point that you're going to go somewhere else. But Enzo, if Palmer does it, like I think the estimate this week was coming out 3 to 5 weeks. Enzo, albeit maybe Enzo doesn't play in game week 8 because it's after international break.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a downside. Well, I think we've got 8 and 12 are both after international breaks, and they're both really good fixtures for Chelsea. So, but Enzo does seem to play every game, so I don't see that's definitely a problem. Didn't he get benched after the last international break? I think he did.
I remember.
I think he did.
What you mean, like just 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. I think he came on at half time.
Man United game.
I might have made that up.
You might have made that up.
I might have made that up, people. Someone's going to have to tell us.
You made it up? Sorry. Yeah,
he's not. He's definitely had a game off. Hasn't he?
He's captain. Although I guess Reece James is back in, so...
No, it was Brentford. It was
after the Champions League.
No, he played 90 minutes.
They played 90 minutes at Brentford, yeah.
Yeah, and that was after the international break.
Yes.
Right. So that's a good sign.
It's a good sign. And he's likely on pens, although again...
And he's likely on pens.
We're not sure about...
We don't know that. We don't know
that, but we think that. We don't know that this weekend, especially.
No.
With João Pedro.
Yeah, João Pedro home to that. Yeah. Completely made up the Enzo thing. Perfect.
Fantastic.
But Enzo at 6.5, I actually think he might be better than Ndai if people are looking around. On those. I just think it's West Ham this week that everyone's like, it's West Ham.
Just give me. This is why I've got Tarko at the moment, because it's just like give me the set piece stuff, please. Maybe I should just get Michael Keane actually.
Yeah, but the problem with Michael Keane is
it's Michael Keane.
It, but Tarko will make it back in the 3 games after this because he'll get 2 points in the following few games.
It's true,
and just cover that.
It's true
straight off. I just think it's Tarko. If you're going Everton, you just go Tarko.
I'm only messing. Yes, of course it is just.
And Brentford was back, wasn't
he? Is he?
He played last week game. Is this another thing I've made up? Surely I've not made that one up as well.
He didn't play midweek against Wolves. Did he play against Liverpool? You made that up as well, mate.
The problem with Brentford is I get really confused on whenever I look up, like, is that Brentford? And it's not Brentford.
It's O'Brien.
They look really similar. Damn you. He's yellow flagged though, Brand. He's yellow flagged.
He's close.
Can't be far away.
I'm going to switch it over to cleans, just because the conversation again around DEFCONs is always going to be there, and Arsenal here, just far and away the best defense. Is it stupid not to double up on this defense though?
It feels stupid. You look at it now and you're like, it feels stupid. Yeah. And that's the only thing about that Donnarumma pick is you look at this and then you look at it straight after and you go, game week 7, game week 9, game week 10, game week 11, game week 12. Am I going to wish I had Raya? Yes.
Yeah.
Probably. And therefore, do you just go Raya? Feels easy.
Feels easy for the length of time that you need to have him. Yeah, just feels easy. I mean, I haven't come changed from Raya all week
and
myself.
Gabriel.
Yeah, Raya and Gabriel.
Yeah, put them straight in. It's so easy to just put them in.
Gabriel's a weird one though, because it does just feel like 2-6.
I've got to interrupt this to say that
Watkins has missed a penny.
Watkins has won a penalty, and then he's missed it. He's so bad at them. He is so bad at penalties, just the worst. Van Dijk looks an easy avoid to me. Looking at this,
you think he's an avoid?
I think Van Dijk's an easy avoid.
I mean, I'm not sure he's an avoid.
How can he be worth it?
Well, because he's
over.
So say over Gabriel, right? So let's put Gabriel in the mix here. So let's just take the projected as gospel, just because that's the only way we're going to do it. So Gabriel in this period is going to score 4 points more than Virgil with an extra clean,
but not in the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, but you're not going to move. You're not going to move. Yeah, but you're not going to move him. You're going to move him to.
Of course you should. we should be thinking much, much more about using these moves on defenders, because defenders are now valuable assets. Like, this is part of we've convinced ourselves in our brains we should be more interested in DEFCON. Great. Next thing is, who are the best players in the game? Defenders. So therefore, should we be spending money on transfers on defenders? Yes. You ask the guys that have brought in Senesi over the last couple of weeks. Like, I think Praz took a hit on Senesi and Harry did the same in those guys. They're very happy about that. They're not going to tell you don't make defender moves anymore. We definitely can make defender moves. It's who goes there. Like, would we move off Gabriel? No. Would we want Gabriel? Do we think that come game week 13 we're going to want Gabriel, Van Dijk, and Vardy? Oh yeah, probably all three of them.
Maybe.
Because it's nuts, like how good they are.
Then all you're going to do is that. Then why are we just not picking like Caicedo? I mean, like, and in like game week 15, game week 16 anyway, you're gonna have 5 transfers to do all this stuff.
Yeah, but
you don't think over the next 7 weeks, Virgil can outscore Gabriel in DEFCON and goals? Maybe.
What? No, because they don't seem to be putting the ball towards his head. Is a problem. That seems to be a really big problem. That they're not trying to target him on corners.
They did in Europe.
So Europe counts when you think.
Well, this is it. So this is it. This is it. So it's either counts or it doesn't count. So if it counts, then we can have the conversation. If it doesn't count, then.
But I just think you're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of money. £6 million at the moment feels crazy. You're going to get Tarko with similar percentages here and more nailed on DEFCON.
I think it's a lot easier if you have already played your bench boost. I think there's an argument there that it's, you can probably do it if you've already played your bench boost, because I think you need that third striker to be a 6.5 plus guy when you can make him a 4.5 guy in the week after you've played your bench boost, because you literally do not need that position. Like, it literally can just forget, just 14-man squad. You've got 2 4.0s or at least one 4.0 defender that can DEFCON the shit out of whatever he needs to. So you just literally do not need that spot whatsoever.
I think Anderson and Richards are very interesting picks compared to Senesi. Because if you looked at this would say that over the next, if you're not making any transfers to game week 19, that Richards and Anderson are a better pick than Senesi. And I'm not convinced I buy that. It's actually, again, if you look at the positions in the table, we're only talking about like 0.1, 0.2 of a clean across a 15, 16 week game week. And I just think Senesi has the more all-round game where I'm expecting him to do all the things. Like, he can get assists, he can get goals. I feel like I've got more chance on the bonus with him. Therefore, I like Senesi more. For me, on the 4.5, I would go Senesi.
Yep.
Then I'd go Anderson. Then I would go Richards if it was in order of those three. And I'd probably only end up with 2 of them. If that, like, is I think I can understand that people are going to go Gabriel, Tarko, Anderson, Senesi. I think, and then a 4.0. I think that's like templatey that we've seen. A huge number of people. I get it. It's going to be really hard benching that 4th one, because it's bloody hard benching Joe Rodon every week at the moment, let alone benching that 4th defender when they're really good and they get 4 points every week.
That's why I like. This is almost why I like the 4.0, like 2 4.0s, because again they both play and they both just pick up points on your bench and you don't feel bad about it because they're 4.0. So
takes a decision a little bit out of your hands as well, doesn't it?
I think takes as many decisions as you can take out of your hands is a good thing. Feel better about it.
Just unbelievable value. Although these 4.5s are not getting as good value anymore, is it? I think Senesi's 4.8 now.
7, no, but yeah, he's close.
I think he might have gone up. Yeah, if he's not,
he's 4.8. Yeah, he's 4.8. Yeah.
So for me, who hasn't got Senesi, I'm already feeling like Senesi's too expensive for me.
Yeah, because he's a 5 basically.
Yeah. If I can go, which I probably will now, to game week 8, and then you said to me, would I want Van Dijk in game week 8? Yes. Yes. If you ask me Van Dijk versus Tarko, Van Dijk versus Senesi, then is it worth the extra money? Van Dijk in game week 8, I think, is considerably worth the money, because you've got out these next 2 fixtures.
Yeah, this fixture's going to be tough, isn't it? This was a weird one.
Away at Palace is not
Away
easy,
at Palace.
and then home to Chelsea is not easy either.
Well, he's going to be run on quite a lot. Van Dijk. He's going to be doing a lot of backwards running against Palace. They attack quickly, they attack fast, and they're pretty good at it.
There's not enough appreciation about the fact that Van Dijk is 34 years old. Like, his age, like, nobody thinks about the fact that he's 34 years old. It's incredible.
That is wild, actually.
Like he's that good that people don't talk
I genuinely thought he was a couple of years younger than that.
34.
Why did I? Because obviously, yeah, Southampton, Celtic, Southampton, Liverpool.
It's insane. It's insane how good he still is at his age. But, you know, he's going to have to play all the minutes now because Leone got his ACL in the week. That was, you just knew the second he went down, you're like, that's ACL. That's just, the second he was down, you're like, shit, now that's, and he was brilliant. He was really good. Okay, defense, good. We haven't talked a lot about midfielders. But is that? Let's go back to this week's games.
I was going to say, we're almost an hour in now. We should move on to teams pretty quick.
Well, Bruno feels a lock.
Yeah. Reinders
feels a lock.
Feels easy.
A lock. Those two feel very, very, very simple. Who's your next lock? Semenyo, just with the added pens as well. Hard to leave out.
Difficult.
So I think those 3 pick themselves. And then there's room for 2 more.
I've got Xavi and Caicedo at the moment.
And it's about the sort of range, isn't it? But one around 6.5. So you spent a little bit more, actually, haven't you? That's because you've got 2 4.0 defenders. So you spent a little bit more than what most people are spending.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got a touch more because most people are looking at Kudus, Dewsbury Hall as like the 2.
Or Undying Stack.
Yeah.
Undying
11.5 versus what is that?
Huge numbers.
12.5. Yeah, it's about $1 million more.
Kudus is massive owned still. He's like 30% owned every week. And, you know, we're Tottenham fans and we rarely talk about him. Obviously, he completely missed out in midweek, which means he's completely fresh for this week. He's going to play 90 minutes this week.
But we're also excited to see Xavi start in the 10. How many minutes did he play it?
Played 60 last night. 60, we've both got him. So I've brought him in on a free transfer, knowing that I probably will wild card in the next couple of weeks. And I just really was, like you, still thinking Leeds away is a good fixture. It's Wolves and Leeds. Get it done. Great. But you play in the 10. You can visibly see a difference in playing in the 10 to playing out wide, in that he's definitely getting into better areas we'd want him to see. His set pieces are ridiculous. You know, last night, obviously, he took both sides because Kudus wasn't playing. But he walks away with 8 key passes last night. And I thought he had a pretty average 60 minutes. And he had 4 shots and 8 key passes.
There was a lot of space for him to work in last night, in truth. It was a pretty pedestrian, like it was back and forth a bit, but it was a pretty slow pace.
He made 1 run in behind, which he then tried to get the pen from, which to an extent, I was like, you were going to take that pen. He was going to take that pen, 100%, because I don't think he goes down like he did. It was a blatant dive, unless he was taking that pen. So I still think Richarlison takes the pens if Richarlison's on the pitch. But I think if Richarlison's not on the pitch, it would be him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was fishing for it. I do see him as a cheaper version. potentially a slightly cheaper version of Bruno, in that he could get DEFCON. He had, like, I think the most like recoveries from any midfielders, or certainly attacking midfielders. I think maybe it was, but it was like 6 recoveries a game he was averaging last season in the Bundesliga. It's a good number. It's halfway there. So he could get DEFCON. It's definitely not out of the realms that he would get it, but we need to see him do the minutes to do it. Saar missed out last night. So Saar played no minutes on the weekend, then doesn't play at all in midweek. So it'd be interesting to see what Thomas Frank says. I'm sure he'll have asked tomorrow about where's Pape Sarr, what's going on.
Yeah.
But if he's not there, there's a very good chance. Albeit, I don't think the wingers are really showing up enough. Like Odebear, I don't think did enough last night to say the left wing's his. I think Brennan experiment on the left is bad. So would I be surprised if against Wolves on the weekend that we play, like, Archie Gray was our best player comfortably last night, comfortably by some way, like enough that I wouldn't be surprised if we went Polina, Gray, and Bergvall in centre midfield and played Xavi on the left. Wouldn't surprise me. I don't mind it either way. Like, say, if someone's just spamming a lot of crosses in and stuff like that, then and taking really good set pieces, is going to be all right.
Yeah, I guess the others, there's not really any others to talk about. We've spoken about City, spoken about Semenyo, Bruno. You still, I mean, would you consider Cunha or Mbumo on wildcard, given they've got Sunderland next week as well?
If I was considering, or I was still like on the fence, I'd try and keep 9 million free, and I'd just get Foden. I'd work it out next week.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
That's probably what I'd do.
Let's look at teams. Let's look at your team first.
Yeah, so I made my moves Sunday, maybe Sunday. I think it was very, very early. Made them Sunday. Did a video on Patreon, completely free. If anyone wants to go look at it, go on the link, check it out. You'll see what I did in terms of the moves. But it felt so nice to take out those Villa guys and Verts. It was so beautiful. Rodgers, Watkins, Verts, just get them gone. I hate you so much. Haaland, Dewsbury Hall, Xavi. In we go. Target the West Ham set pieces. Target Wolves and set pieces. Take a load of people. Get a load of people that take some stuff. It keeps Salah in the team.
Yeah.
For one more week, and it gets me the chance to play Haaland the triple cap. I'm likely to play Murillo. In fact, I definitely won't play Richards in this team over any of the others. I'll play Roden over Richards, I think, if I had to. But yeah, I'm hopeful that if Murillo's fine, then this team would look good if Murillo's fine. Murillo not fine, I've got to play either Roden or Richards, and I'll probably play Roden.
Yeah, I'd play Roden.
That's me. Oh yes, for the audio.
I was going to say, did you read it out?
Yeah, for the audio, Sales in goal against Sunderland. Anderson away at Villa, just hoping for leggy Villa after the Thursday night escapades. Pedro Porro. Would you have any, as you're independent now, because I'm assuming you haven't got Porro, any worries on Porro about the fact that he played 90 minutes last night?
No, not at the moment. I still think Udogie's working his way back in. I still think that Porro and Spence are our best two fullbacks. I still think he'll start. The man's an absolute machine fitness wise.
Yeah.
So
he's a machine. For me,
he can come off after like 65, 70, like he can do.
Yeah, there is a possibility that could happen. There is a possibility that could happen. But Spence, we shouldn't forget that Spence played played 75 minutes. Yeah, and Udogie still doesn't start so he's still not even, like, it just doesn't feel like, it feels like he's still definitely working his way up. Porro was captain, so he was always going to play 90. like with Romero out, and it just shows he's part of that leadership team. I just feel like he's a senior citizen in this team. For me, Porro will be playing. I don't see that being an issue. And obviously, if Xavi does play limited minutes, because Xavi has been coming off 70, 75 minutes, you'll need Porro because you need the person to take the set pieces for the last 20 minutes. So, yeah, I've got no issues with Porro. Then, yeah, Xavi, Semenyo, Dewsbury Hall, Salah, Reinders in midfield, Haaland, João Pedro up top.
Cool. And then this is the wildcard team that I'm looking at the moment. So I have Raya in goal, double defense against Newcastle with Gabriel, Tarkowski. I'm targeting these West Ham set pieces over the next 2 weeks. So Tarko and Gabriel, really, really strong on those. Senesi, just think it's a really good pick this week.
But best keeper, best 6.0 defender, best 5.5 defender, best what was 4.5 defender.
Yeah, exactly. So not difficult. And then those guys are on the pitch. On the bench, I've got Alderete and Goodmanson. So both perfect for game week 8 bench boost, which is kind of how this is geared up to. Midfield, Reinders, Bruno, Semenyo, and Xavi. And Caicedo on the bench. Just because it's a weird one, Caicedo on the bench, because actually, like this game, I don't want to play him. Next week, I don't want to play him. Like I'm almost asking myself, when do I want to play him? So there's a bit around that. Do I knock that down with the game week 8 focus, and do I push someone else up somewhere else? I don't know. There's still this team's still got 0.5 million in the bank with Gyökeres, Haaland, and Richarlison up top.
Our friend Ivan, I didn't see who was playing ahead of them, but said that he's going to bench. He's in wildcard too. Said that he's going to bench Gyökeres.
Really?
Caicedo versus Gyökeres.
I mean, yeah, it's probably close.
It's quite close.
Probably quite close.
Imagine you buy a £9 million striker and then you bench him.
But then
for a
so what might be better then? What might be better then is Dewsbury Hall and then play Dewsbury Hall over Gyökeres.
This is what I'm talking about.
Because then you get the set piece bit, you get the bit supporting Grealish basically on the inside of him against West Ham. Yeah, that feels kind of cool. And then bench Gyökeres. Play Richarlison over him.
the stack pick. We've got.
I still haven't watched a minute of him play, so I'm not interested.
Rockstar and Harry both in the chat. Rockstar just said stack's good for bench boost game week 8, which you are planning on. So it loads into that.
Yeah. And
even Harry says that he's wondered about stack over Gyökeres. JC says it's not very close. In which way, JC? That's what you better tell us. Which way? But
he just says. I mean, he just assumes that Gyökeres is going to score half a goal basically, and that means Caicedo has to have like to achieve more than DEFCON. That's going to be. There's going to be a half goal. So the expected goal
against his old team. Caicedo and João Pedro against the old team. And Cucurella. Like, of course they are, because it's Brighton. Their whole team has been bought from Brighton.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I forget that JC's also a Newcastle fan. Yeah, it's big Dan marking him.
And Gyökeres does have pens. Well, that's it until Saka
and Bob Sanchez.
Until
just keeps going.
Just keeps going. Until Saka takes the pen. Like that's the thing, right? Like Gyökeres has pens until Saka turns up and actually just takes the penalty.
Yeah.
If you take Gyökeres' penalty share down to about 10%, JC, tell me who's close then. That's what you need to do. Anyway.
It's whether you think they'll get there. But, I mean, it's fascinating. It's fascinating that you buy a £9 million striker and potentially bench him.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's where we are, mate. But I'm still twinking. I don't know what. I'm still fiddling around with it at the moment and tinkering with it. That's the word I'm looking for. Still tinkering, and it won't come to a decision until Saturday morning.
Isn't it really just?
Nah, but mate, you know me. Like as soon as one transfer's made, this House of Cards job happens, and it's like, oh,
Yes.
well, I can now do this, and then now I can do that, and now I can do this. I've been messing around and looking at all sorts of different permutations. So, you like,
Do we need to get JC to man mark you? JC's in the chat. Can you man mark Adam?
just double check everything I'm doing.
We've got the chat open.
Then,
just keep checking he's okay.
But you could do. I mean, like, I could do something like that includes like Saka and Bumo as well instead, and then get rid of Gyökeres completely. That could be fun.
I swear, my only thing about the game week 6 wildcard is I'm just not sure about Gyökeres. I'm just not sure. But he could, like, if I was wildcard in this week, I think I would go out without him. And I think it would make me look stupid. Because there's not a huge amount of teams, amount of strikers that are smashing it.
Yeah, true.
There really isn't. And so I fully get it. I fully get why this is the templates out there, and realistically, it's 2 or 3 teams. If there's a template going around for wildcard, and there's only 2 or 3 players different, it's probably a good time to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gyökeres is the one. I just can't help but think if somehow he blanks these next 2 games, and there's a fair chance that he blanks this week. But if he blanks this week and then he blanks home to West Ham, most people are going to roll their team in game week 7, and if they do it, and suddenly they're just going to be like, Mo, what do I do? And he's just the easy cash cow.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Bruno, if Bruno and Gyökeres, like what all this game week 6 wildcard is hinging on, is Bruno and Gyökeres in game week 7, because they couldn't be better fixtures for them. Home to Sunderland, home to West Ham. You're like, I want to captain one of them in that week, and I want to get like 30 odd points from those 2. And if they do, game week 6 is absolutely nailed it. But if they don't, it's going to be like Mo, because you can just go back down to Guiu from Gyökeres, and bang, in you come with Mo, Bruno to Mo.
That's it. That's it. And I think I think it depends on whether you've played that bench boost chip, because I think regardless of what happens, is I'll hold on until I can get the bench boost chip played in game week 8, and then I will then take that decision.
Yeah. And of course, there's the ESAC way as well, isn't there? You could go, like you say, down to a guy that's only about 7 million from Bruno, and then you knock yourself up to
I do not want to get rid of Bruno. Like I just don't want to get rid of Bruno.
There's only so many cash cows.
Like Liverpool is the only bad game for him, and I don't think that's a bad game for him. Like I just don't think it's a bad game for him. And even in the Liverpool game, like that's 4 points.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably going to get booked, so that's 3. But yeah.
Oh, he's a solid pick for the foreseeable now.
Yeah.
He always was. And now he gets DEFCON.
Always was. It just reminded me of JC's profile pic on Discord. You know the meme with he's a great pick, always was, with the spaceman pointing the gun the back of his head. Cool, man. Well, still decisions to make, but I think we're looking good. I think in the answer to the question on the title, is the big man going to play? I think he's going to play.
We think so. I haven't done too much to try and destabilize you on wildcard. I normally like to try and throw a few things in there, but I think I'm trying to stop you because I think it's a good wildcard. Are
you trying to say that normally when I send you stuff, it's not a good pick, or is that?
No. Normally on these, I can't help myself. I'll be like, well, let me put this idea into your head. Let me throw this one out there.
You've managed to turn like you never introduce him as Ivan. He's always our friend Ivan. Like our friend is like his first name. But yeah, when you introduce the benching Gyökeres thought, like the Dewsbury Hall thing. That's as much as we get as you got.
That's as much as we get. I've agreed to go chat with our friend Andy, who's been on even more times than Ivan tomorrow, doing the late tackle with on Black Box, and he's also on Wildcard.
Nice.
So, if anyone wants to like send me some picks, like just fugazi picks, ones that they don't want, like slide them in on the comments on this of these are the guys to try and mention, and tomorrow night I'll see how many times I can try and derail him with just picks that just shit.
There's absolutely zero chance he's watching this as well, by the way. So yeah,
no chance.
He's not going to know. He's not going to know this is coming.
He's not going to know. He's not going to got to the end of this. So if you've got to the end of this, yeah, and you want me to try and derail Andy tomorrow night, just give me some round and just make up a stat to go with it, and I'll just try and drop it in all night tomorrow.
Gotta be Dina. Dina,
No,
the last time Dina has played, the last 5 times Luca Dina has played promoted sides, he's registered an assist and 2 bonus.
Yeah, make it up like this. Did you know Alderete made 17 tackles a game last season? You know, something like that none of us will know.
JC says getting to pick Caicedo, mate, that's just me. That's a dig at me, you bastard. Okay, right.
I've been sleeper still in that one for weeks with Adam. This was all built up to this.
Right, let's leave it there, mate. It's always a pleasure. I will catch you on Sunday. Thank you to the 500 people that have been with us tonight on the stream. Oh, come on, mate. I was about to get into the...
We can't do Sunday night. We cannot do Sunday night this week.
Oh, no, we can't do Sunday night because it's the Ryder Cup.
We can't do Sunday night.
Yeah, okay, no. We'll be back on Monday.
No chance. We've done no Ryder Cup chat tonight. We've been very good about it, but there's no chance we're doing a stream Sunday night.
Absolutely agreed. Monday night, we'll be back.
We'll be back during the Everton game. And if you had Dewsbury Hall in you, whilst on stream, you'd be nice going, yeah, mate, get the Dewsbury Hall.
Look at you.
Hall.
Oh, look at you. We'll leave it there. Good chatting. 500 of you in the chat.
Just imagine it live on stream.
Hit like, subscribe.
To Tarko.
Hit like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. You prick.